Hey, this is Matt once again. We're about to another video. There's another paid request, this time for Lucas. Thank you so much. He's a very generous guy. And for those interested in requesting pretty much any type of videos, reviews, commentaries, topics, what have you, feel free to send them either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And this is for... At first it was... Take the Ninja Turtle films that were made that you feel were bad, like Part 3, the Michael Bay produced films, and what you would do. And I'm like, well, I kind of already said that, where I would make Raphael films. And it's like, oh, well, okay, let's say you had to use what they were working with, or the stories, the ideas, can't just be a Raphael film. What would you do to improve, remake these, what you call the bad Turtles films? Oh, okay, that's a bit understandable for me and my dumbass brain to garner. I like the first two movies. Granted, the second film, I love Secret of the Ooze. Yes, part of that's nostalgia, but I love the way the Turtles look, the way they act, their interactions. I love the voice cast. I think Secret of the Ooze to me has the best voice cast of the Turtles. I like Tino, Ernie Reyes Jr., but I would have it where you get to see the Secret of the Ooze, what they were going to do, Professor Perry, David Warner. It was going to be an alien underneath, which this group of creatures called the Utroms, which was in the original comic books that became Crane in the 80s cartoon, where you had the robot body and the alien brain in the stomach. Focus on that, find the secret of that, and I would have the Turtles actually fight the Shredder. Last time, Splinter took care of it, but this time you actually have all four Turtles fight the Shredder and beat him. And Raphael, I would give him a bit more of the story where he still has flashbacks, memories to being in a coma. And Mikey's helping him deal with it. And the Turtles fight him, and Raph gets the finishing shot as sort of a payback for what Shredder did to him in the first movie. But the Turtles fight him. Mikey's been helping Raph out. You still keep the fun moments that Mikey has with Raph. That's why Mikey's picking on Raph, is to keep his spirits high. And have a little bit more to that. Then Shredder's ready to hurt Mikey. Raph gives the finishing blow. Boom, Shredder's done. Because of the Turtles, not just Splinter. That's it in. But I like Secret of the Ooze. But that's just some of the stuff I would change. Part 3, which I think is... Number 1, if it has to be, they go back in time to feudal Japan. To me, I would go with... If you make Part 2 that way, and then Part 3 be City at War. But if it have to be feudal Japan, have it be Jim Henson's work, his effects, his suits. Maybe even the ones in Part 1, because the suits in Part 1, there's a little bit more difference between the Turtles compared to Part 2. I still love the effects in Part 2, though. Have the voice cast in Part 2. So, not Corey Feldman as Donatello. I think the Donatello in Part 2 did a better job. So, sorry, Corey Feldman, fuck out. The suits don't look like they got moles and they're rotted, and Splinter not literally got dipped in a vat of KFC for it to be crispy or spicy. Have the Turtles and Splinter look worth a shit. If you don't want to go to feudal Japan, maybe have it where there's also some kind of mutants. And the reason no one's heard from them since is because Destiny. The Turtles fought them, destroyed them, or sent them back, and that's why throughout the years you didn't see or hear from these mutants. I would get the director Steve Wayne people like, who's that? He's a guy who worked on special effects. He worked on effects for the Monster Squad. The Monster Squad, he helped work on the effects of the Gill Man, among others. He became a director. He directed Diver 2 Dark Hero, which I would say takes some of that idea and plot for this movie, where you can have human bad guys, but you also have bad guys in suits and that kind of the way they looked and the creature designs, and then you get some really good martial arts. He also directed Drive with Martha Costos, Kadeem Hardison. So the guy knows how to direct on a lower budget. He knows how to direct people in suits. He did that in Diver Dark Hero. And I would rather see him take a crack at it. Have Raph be the one who saves the kid, so it makes sense why the kid would be bonding with him. Because Mighty saves the kid, Leo gives him CPR, but for some reason he bonds with Raphael. Doesn't make any fucking sense. Have it be more consistent. If you want Mikey to have a crush on the girl Mitsu, then fucking do it. Stop pussyfooting around with it. I'm not saying you need to have a fucking sex scene. I'm saying just have him have a crush on it and go with it. Maybe have Raph and Mikey bonding because they really enjoy being here. Mikey has a crush on this girl. Raph's bonding with the kid who is with Mitsu. They're bonding because of that. Maybe you see Mikey mad. Like, you can have discussions where that deleted scene from part 1 where Mikey's wrecked in the barn that was only in the comic book version of the 1990 film. Does he wreck the barn and that was all cut out? That's why it was Mikey yelling on top of the barn. It wasn't Splinter. It wasn't Raphael. They just dubbed Raphael's voice in it. But you look, you see nunchucks. Use that deleted bit, put it in the movie where he was pissed off what's going on, and maybe they're bonding, and Mikey's like, I don't know if I want to go back. I still remember when you were in a coma and I was scared, and show that they want it. If you want to have Mikey and Raph stay like they bring up in the movie, develop that more. And then Leo Donnie's like, no, I want to. And maybe you have some friction between the brothers. Actually develop that. Like, Raph is the one who finds Mikey who's lost, while Leo and Donnie are with Mitsu and the village, and Leo and Donnie bonding with each other, Raph and Mikey bonding with each other. Right? And Mikey has a crush on the girl, Raph's bonding with his kid, so that's why Raph and Mikey, they want to stay. Leo and Donnie, they want to go, and then get some friction. That'd be interesting. Mikey arguing with Donnie, and the bad guys. I would like to have some mutants in there, because the bad guys they have in there is boring. I'm sorry, they're boring. If you want to have that actor as Walker, have him be the bad guy like he was in No Escape with Ray Liotta. If he was more like that bad guy, okay then, that's fun. Take away some of the jokes like, what do you expect of the Addams Family? No, who the fuck even brought that up? If you don't have them use the weapons, if you can't make it rated R, make it at least PG-13. You can make it PG-13, for fuck's sake. At the very least. How it be like there's these demons, they think it's demons, but they know it as mutants. Oh my god, there were mutants back then, and so you have, because we've seen them fight mutants, but they're dumb and slow, like Tokar and Razor. Now let them have fight mutants that are quick and faster, and you get this back and forth, and the Turtles are protecting this village against these outside forces. And see them go over the place, have their own individual fights, and then they get together and they kick ass, take names. And then Mitsu has to break it to Mikey, like, this can't work, I'm in love with this guy. Have Casey Jones come back with them. Like, have Splinter be the one who's with I forget his name. You can still have Splinter trying to keep the one guy occupied. And maybe the other soldiers occupied. Splinter is a ninja master. He fucked up the Shredder. He could handle these guys. Just let him do that. I like they're talking tough, and then Splinter does something that shuts them up. Like they're too scared of him or something. Have Casey Jones, Elias Koteas go back in time with them. Not this Elias Koteas going to be Casey Jones, but he's going to be this other guy. Who gives a shit about this other guy? No one cares about this other guy. I don't remember the other guy Elias Koteas play. I don't remember his fucking name. Don't worry about that. Have Casey Jones go back and put in a little bit of that Jack Burton. You know, he's trying to do stuff, but he's fucking up like Jack Burton, but he's able to do some stuff. Maybe you have some of that Raph and Casey bonding like Raph and Casey do in the comics. Maybe Raph and Casey have this bonding, and so Mikey has his crush on this girl, and he's jealous because him and Raph used to be close as kids. It's like we used to hang out together. Now you always hang out with Casey Jones and never have any time for me. That's what I'm talking about. Develop the characters. I'm not saying it has to be Oscar-worthy. I'm not saying it has to be, go for Christopher Nolan, Michael Mann. I'm saying you can develop the characters. Like, even in a fucking Marvel film, even in a fucking Guardians of the Galaxy film, I can't even talk straight. You could do that at least. This is what's called writing. Characters. Why is it that me, a nobody, is fucking saying this shit? But people in Hollywood that get paid a lot more than me, they can't fucking do it. That's what I would do for part 3. The CGI film in 2007, it depends. Are you going to make it a sequel or not? Because it's like we're a sequel, but we're not. That 2007 movie, I would get the voice cast if I could of the 1991 movie. If it's supposed to be a sequel. If not, that's tough. If I have to recast, I don't know, that's tough. I mean, maybe Ryan Gosling as Raphael. Maybe John Cusack, or the total opposite. Maybe like a Donald Glover or something as Donatello. Maybe Chris Evans as Leonardo, because I know he'd be Captain America. Don't have Chris Evans as Casey Jones. Have him as Leonardo. Mighty, I don't know. Jonah Hill. Because I actually don't mind Jonah Hill if you use him the right way. Or maybe not Jonah Hill. I don't know. Because I would like to get the cast of the original, or even the 2003 cartoon. Even maybe the voice cast of the 2003 cartoon, and let them have a crack at a movie. Okay, maybe it won't be, but they'll be, is it the same time frame as them? I don't know, maybe like Ryan Gosling, Raph, Don, and Mighty, I don't know. You know what? The voices of Don and Mighty, and even like the voices in the 2007 CGI film were not even the problem. To be perfectly honest, the voices they got were not really the issue. It was the way have more of Don and Mighty in the film as actual characters. How about this? Don't have no April, no Casey Jones. Let's have a film with no April, Casey Jones. You can do that. If we're gonna reboot it, and you hope you don't get sequels, have the first film be no April and no Casey. They were not in the first issue of the comic book, introduced later, granted very soon after, but center on the 4 characters first, then go on from there. No April, no Casey, that way you get more to Don, more to Mighty, have Mighty and Don actually interact with the others, have Don and Raph actually have conversations, then Raph almost hitting Donnie, have Raph and Mighty have one conversation together, at least one, which is not even the case in the 2007 movie. I don't think Raph and Mighty ever talked one fucking time. And I'm talking about, you look at this, this is, think of any other fucking film Wow, that's fucking weird. But this was like, yep, that's okay. Fuck the director. T with John Woo. He wants to be a producer. Have him be a director. He's a director with the ideas, and then you get someone who knows animation and knows how to direct animators. Because sometimes you would have movies where you have two directors, and have one of them be John Woo, which John Woo was going to produce a CGI film. I would rather go with his direction. The turtles, the way they look, they have more distinct features. They all, except Mighty, looks a little bit different, but they all kind of look similar. Give them a little bit more distinct features. Keep Raphael as the Night Watcher. I think that was the best part of the movie. But go a bit into it more. Maybe he talks to Mighty or someone about how he became the Night Watcher. Like, Mighty loves the Night Watcher. There's like a hero worship to it, but he doesn't realize it's his brother. Don't have the Stone Generals as the villains. I didn't. Why not the City of War storyline? People are like, what's the City of War storyline? That was a storyline where the Shredder was gone, so all the gang members got together. It was like mobsters, this gang member group called the Purple Dragons, Kurai and her trying to lead the Foot Clan, all these people fighting over to be Teen of New York. And the Turtles are in the middle of it, and they get involved. Someone's like, it's not our fight. Yes, it is our fight. It's kind of our fault because we stopped the Shredder that caused this. Well, what about this? Let Leo realize how hypocritical he's being. If you want him against the Night Watcher, fine, but let him get to the realization himself, like, oh my, or have someone like Mighty. Have Mighty say he's sticking up for Raph because no one else will. It's like, look, what about you? Well, wait a minute. You were in the jungle. You were a hero with a costume. He was a hero with a costume. You were beating up bad guys. He was beating up bad guys. Have the dumb turtle say the smartest thing. Like, he's not that dumb. Don't make him stupid. He could be goofy. Doesn't mean he's an idiot. Don't make him a moron. Have him say the smartest thing. And so Leo wakes up like, oh shit, that's right. What the fuck am I doing? You're not all perfect, Leo, and Raffy Boy isn't all that bad. So, you're a lot more similar than you guys think. But Raffy Boy is not all that evil, and you're not all that crystal clear perfect. And have, them working together and defeat all of these, like, different, the mobsters, the purple dragons, if you want to have the Shredder back, fine. Have it be like where Raph defeats Kurai and Leo defeats the Shredder, or Leo defeats Kurai and Raph saves Mighty or saves Leo, defeats the Shredder but dies, and well, no, you don't have the Stone General and that stuff, so you can't have him die. There's apparently the original idea of the 2007 with the whole Stone General plot and their machinery was that Raph would die and then he would be brought back to life. But then Peter later said, no, you can't do that. I'm like, that might have made the film more interesting as to how it was done. Like, if Raph saved Leo and Leo is heartbroken, you get some actual character. I don't want to blow off the microphone. Character. God fucking forbid. As shitty as some of the recent Marvel films have been, even they've done that more. For fuck's sake. God damn it. But have the four turtles working together. Maybe, again, Raph either saves Leo and Mighty. Leo thinks Raph is dead, but he's not, and he apologizes, and they working together. And I would say, if you want them separated at the beginning, and it's about them coming together to fight this battle, City of War, and then this big old battle and things work out the best, Maybe you have April and Casey, but they moved away. And then it's like, no, we're going to get our family together before we contact them. Maybe Splinter's death. Maybe have Splinter dead by the beginning of the film. And that's why they separated. Or that's why they're kind of... That's a better... If you want to have a showcase as why the bond is broken, Shredder's death... Splinter's death is more of a understandable notion than, oh, I just sent Leo away for training and we all can't work together if Leo's not here. No, it's Splinter passed away, things were said, separated, you bond together. You didn't even have a nod to the first film where Splinter's spirit talks to them. They both hug. Someone's calling on April and Casey. Hey, glad to see you soon. Then Raph is giving Casey shit on the phone. And then you have the four like bonding with each other, messing around with each other, and I don't know, doing something simple. Like they were playing a game. I don't know, throwing a fucking football around, whatever, as kids. Like they did as kids. Like the four of them, they're playing a football, Raph's tackling Mikey, or Mikey's on top of Raph. Get the hell off me. Get off me. And Mikey's giving Raph shit. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about stuff that builds characters, that builds a family dynamic, as well as you have kick-ass action. Also have changed the music, not... What the fuck is that song? Oh, Black Betty. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, Black Betty. Fuck that song. You have that song Lights Out. I don't mind that. No Sarah Michelle Gellar, because the way Sarah Michelle Gellar talks nowadays, she gets on my fucking nerves with some of the bullshit she says nowadays, so fuck that shit. That's what I would like to see. And then the Michael Bay produced films. God, what would I want to see from them? Okay, if Michael Bay wants to produce it, it'd be like, okay, you produce it as in you give us the budget for a big budget action movie. But leave us the fuck alone. Who to direct it? Get the guys who did the John Wick films. You know, and then they did, what? Deadpool 2. One guy did Deadpool 2. The other did John Wick 2 and 3. And, you know, get the John Wick team to choreograph the fights. Take a chance. Make it R-rated. Go for broke. R-rated. Have fight scenes like the Raid Redemption, like Kevin Eastman said it would happen, which it didn't. We're going to have fight scenes like the Raid Redemption. Yeah, and what dimension did you see that in? Story-wise, again, if this is a reboot, do you want to bring in the Shredder right away? Because I know anytime it's a Shredder, well, people are going to be looking forward to it. I would say yes. Because here's a problem that happens. So many times people make these movies thinking they're going to get sequels. They think they're going to get 3, 4, 5 films. So they hold back on shit because we'll do that later. What if there is no later? So you shortchange your film and not make it as strong as it can be because you're hoping it'll be for part 2, 3, part 7, all that jazz. So many times people say there's going to be a sequel and it never happens because the first film bombed because you held back and you did it and you fucked up. No, don't do that. So yes, it would be the Shredder. It's not the most original idea, but I would do a version of Dread or the Raid Redemption or Bruce Lee's, the original version of Game of Death, where the turtles are trapped in this fortress of the Shredder's tower. They go to the top. And sometimes they separated, sometimes they're together. So you get them fighting in enclosed spaces, Red Redemption type fight scenes, but you get that Dread style story where they get to the top, where Shredder's at, or like, you know, Game of Death, the tower, like that kind of story, which makes you think of the old school kung fu type of movies, but in modern times. Maybe a bit of a Die Hard feel. with the claustrophobia and action, and then there's explosions happening, so the cops are there, but they can't get inside, and you have some Die Hard type of theatrics. I would say have Raph, and maybe I'll even have the picture here the whole time, just to give you something to look at, so you're not just looking at my face. Because there's a cool fan art like Raphael with like a bulletproof vest and guns. Have him do that. And Leo doesn't like it, and Raph's like, well, you fight fire with fire. You know, world ain't no sunshine and rainbows. And Raph will use it. Fuck it. Have a little bit of that. He can't use it like John Wick because he's not trained for that, but get up close and personal. Doesn't matter how many times I used a bullet and a gun. If I'm this close, it works out just the same. I like that. Them being a sealed fortress, they are all the way up, and each one's like different. It's like a video game. You just defeated the next wave. And that's what I would do. And get to the four of them fight Shredder, fuck up Shredder, they escape ninja style. Maybe use some kind of thing that the Shredder had, or some kind of contraption, or whatever the fuck. Plus, that's a way of world building. As you go up each level, maybe there's mutants. Maybe there's mutants here that work for Shredder. You tell the story through the action and the world building. As for the voice cast, the directors already did like the people who worked on the John Wick films. You know, John Wick, wait till that comes out, it's successful. Hey, can you work on this? Okay, then they work on this movie. Voice cast. Again, I would still hope to get the voice cast of the 1991 sequel of the Ooze, because it'd be nice to how they would sound like a bit older. I mean, they could be a bit older. You could call it Ninja Turtles. If it was called Ninja Turtles, people would be fine with it. If they're not teenagers. I'm sorry, I don't think people would be that upset. Ninja Turtles, that's fine. They're a little bit older. You don't need an origin story again. Have Carl Urban as Raph, Jake Gyllenhaal as Leo, Joseph Gordon-Levitt as Donatello, and maybe Chris Pratt as Mighty. And then Liam Neeson as Splinter. And Donnie Yen as Shredder. There you go. Score, Hans Zimmer. I would say Hans, Die Hard, Hans, you remember you score for Broken Arrow? Do that for this movie. Not fucking Dark Knight Hans Zimmer. I want Broken Arrow Hans Zimmer. I don't care if you have to copy and paste. Or get the people who did Con Air. What was it, Trevor Rabin? So, get one of them, say, you remember the score for Con Air? Do that. Remember the score for Broken Arrow? Do that. Con Air, Broken Arrow type of musical score. There you go. And I want a film like Hard Target. Or, you know, those type of things. Or get John Woo to direct it. And get the John Wick team to choreograph it. And have John Woo direct the fucking movie. Or the guy who did the Raid Redemption, have him direct the fucking movie. I forget the director's name. And if you did a sequel, steal from John Wick 2 and 3. There's a reward out for them, dead or alive. They're hunted, and they have to survive in the city. Take a page from Judgment Night. People come out of the woodwork. You could bring in Leatherhead. Take his design from the comics and bring... You can even bring a little bit of him from the 80s cartoon where he wanted to hunt the turtles. And I know Leatherhead is known as a hero. I would like to make him as a villain. I think that'd be cool. And have, like, mutants and humans come out of the woodwork to try to fuck up the turtles, and they gotta survive through the city. Take a page from the beginning of John Wick 3, the assassins trying to kill John Wick in John Wick 2. And since those films would not be made yet, I would just steal from them. Raphael kills someone with a pencil. I always see it. Or just do it with the sigh. Like he puts the sigh up. You know. But that's my movie. And then part 3, if you go further, then you could go more and to delve into some of the stories. You're still being different. You're not exactly like the comic books. You're being your own thing. And don't have the turtles look like shit. Don't have them look like they took a bunch of steroids. I would say make the suits practical. If you want the faces, like the eyes and mouth, to be CGI enhanced, I can understand that. But they're green. So have a fake head, but just, you can CGI the mouth and eyes if you want. So they're more natural to your liking. If you want to do that with the face and the... Okay. Maybe I could give leeway on that. And don't have, Leo look like the Michelin Man. Don't have, these guys look like Shrek, adoptive, inbred, fucktarded children. Have them look like the Ninja fucking Turtles. And no, I would not have April and Casey, because I think they could be in sequels. If you get to a 3rd and 4th film, because April and Casey does not need to be in every goddamn story. I'm sorry, they don't. Sometimes I like to see a movie with just the Ninja Turtles themselves. We need the human perspective. That's stupid. The Turtles are the human perspective. Because their DNA has made them part human. That's why they look the way they fucking do. That's why they have personalities. Have them come in the 3rd or 4th movie. Again, either... If you want to make it an origin story, people don't want to see an origin story again. They're tired of origin stories. Liam Neeson, you don't have him the voice of Splinter? The voice of Splinter in the 80s cartoon worked very well. But the backstory, yeah, but the rat himself is not fucking... If you're going with that... Well, it's okay. Depends what backstory you're going with. I'll say that. It depends what backstory you're going with. If you're going with the 80s cartoon where he was a guy and then got turned to this rat, then I would say the voice would be... God, who could it be? Sonny Chiba. Sonny Chiba. Come on, the Street Fighter... Japanese, you're the #1 man. Sonny Chiba is the voice of Splinter. Fuck it. Sonny Chiba is the voice of Splinter. He could do it in Kill Bill. He could do it here. Have him speak Japanese. Have subtitles. You like to speak Japanese, Splinter? And I understood what he was saying in Kill Bill. He was actually really good in Kill Bill. So yeah, Sonny Chiba. It'd be Sonny Chiba. So it doesn't matter which one you choose, have it be Sonny Chiba. That's actually a better choice. Sonny Chiba. Fuck yeah. I always did like Sonny Chiba. I like the Street Fighter. But yeah, I don't know what else to say. That's just my thoughts on what I would do. But of course, they would never do it. Most of all, just give people kick-ass action scenes where the turtles are badass motherfuckers and have them be characters that people can enjoy, relate to. We've seen this done tremendous amount of times. Okay, I've seen Beverly Hills Cop. Look at the interactions between Axel Foley, Rosewood, and Taggart. Between Eddie Murphy, Judge Reinhold, and John Ashton, and the way they interact with each other. I'm not saying that should be how these guys interact. I'm saying you took 3 people, you made them interact well in Beverly Hills Cop 1 and 2 to the point that you really enjoy their interactions. You get their bonding with each other. That's one of the appeals of the movies. When people do buddy cop films, Mel Gibson, Danny Glover, Martin Lawrence, Will Smith, Kurt Russell, Sylvester Stallone. You can do this. Why do people like Guardians of the Galaxy? That's one of the main reasons, the way the characters interact with each other. It's not a concept that is impossible. But apparently it is, because people are too fucking stupid. So with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. And we will see you guys later. Bye-bye.